The sun beat down, relentless, fierce. Rajasthan lay baked, a canvas of ochre and brown. The earth cracked. Deep fissures scarred the land, like mouths agape, thirsting for a single drop. Dust devils danced across the barren plains, whispering tales of desolation, of long waits, of hope dwindling with each passing cloudless day. The air itself was a furnace, hot, dry, heavy with unshed tears, waiting, always waiting, for the first scent of rain. Cattle stood gaunt, their ribs a stark testament to the land's harshness, to the sky's withholding. Birds sought slivers of shade. Their chirps were muted, almost mournful. The vibrant colours of Rajasthan seemed faded, dulled by an unending layer of dust. Wells ran low, then dry, their depths echoed with emptiness. Villagers scanned the horizons, their eyes old with ancient patience, searching for a sign, a wisp of a cloud, a promise of relief. A change in the wind's song, in the silence of the afternoon, a tension hung, palpable, unseen. It was the tension of a held breath, of a prayer caught in the throat. The desert wind carried no moisture, only the grit of the land. Yet within this aridity, a collective memory stirred, of previous monsoons, of life bursting forth from this very dust. The memory was a fragile seed, guarded fiercely against despair. It was the soul of survival, whispering of renewal. The elders spoke of signs, the behavior of ants, the restlessness of peacocks, the distant rumble that might be thunder, or just the sigh of the tired earth. Every rustle of a dry leaf, every shift in the wind's direction was scrutinized, analyzed. Hope was a fragile thing, yet it persisted, woven into the fabric of daily life, into the songs of women, into the stories told to children. The great Indian monsoon. 1 billion lives hung in its balance. Its arrival was not just weather, it was deliverance. Far away, over the vast Indian Ocean, a cosmic drama unfolded. The sun, a fiery sculptor, heated the immense waters. Day after day, week after week, the ocean breathed a slow, deep inhalation. Warm, moist air began to rise. Great columns of it, spiraling upwards towards the cool expanse of the upper atmosphere. This was the genesis, the very beginning of a force that would shape destinies, a power born from sun and sea. This rising air, laden with the ocean's essence, created a void, a low-pressure heart. Nature abhors a vacuum, so cooler, denser air rushed in from surrounding regions, from across continents, from distant seas. This inrush of air was the first stirring, the first whisper of the winds of change. These were not ordinary winds. They were the monsoon winds, charged with purpose. With the promise of life-giving rain, they carried the ocean's soul. The Earth's rotation played its part. The Coriolis force, a subtle, invisible hand guiding the gathering winds, giving them their characteristic swirl, their direction, their immense scale. It was a dance of planetary forces, a symphony conducted by the laws of physics. Yet, it felt like something more, something ancient, primal, as if the ocean itself was gathering its strength, preparing for a great journey, a journey to quench a thirsty subcontinent. Deep within the ocean, currents shifted, temperatures changed. The water held memories of distant shores, of ancient mariners. Now, it prepared to give birth to clouds that would travel thousands of miles, clouds that would carry billions of tons of water. This was no mere meteorological event, it was the ocean's exhalation, a gift, a blessing earned through the long, hot months of waiting. The monsoon was gathering its might, a titan stirring from its slumber. The first emissaries of the monsoon did not strike the mainland directly. They arrived softly, almost shyly, upon the emerald jewels of the Andaman and Nicobar Islands. These islands, scattered like green teardrops in the Bay of Bengal, were the first to feel the change. The air, once heavy with tropical heat, began to cool. A new scent filled the breeze, the scent of petrichor, the smell of rain on dry earth. Long before the first drop fell, then it came. Not as a deluge, but as a gentle sigh. A soft curtain of rain, veiling the dense rainforests, the coconut groves, the turquoise waters. The leaves of ancient trees dripped with moisture, washing away the dust of the dry season. The parched soil drank greedily. Small rivulets formed, gurgling through the undergrowth, carrying the news of the monsoon's arrival. The islands seemed to exhale, a collective sigh of relief, of welcome. The vibrant life of the islands responded. Frogs began their chorus, a symphony of croaks and calls. Hidden insects chirped with renewed vigor. Birds flitted through the rain-washed foliage, their feathers glistening. The indigenous tribes, who had lived in harmony with these rhythms for millennia, knew the signs. They welcomed the rain as a renewal of life, a cleansing of the land, a promise of sustenance from the forest and the sea. Their ancient chants mingled with the sound of the rain. This was the monsoon's overture, a gentle prelude to the grand opera that would unfold across the subcontinent. Here in these remote islands, the monsoon tested its strength, gathered its momentum. It was a period of quiet transformation before the dramatic sweep across the mainland. The first touch was tender, a caress, a promise of the immense power yet to be unleashed. The Andamans awoke, shrouded in mist and gentle rain, alive with the monsoon's first breath. Kerala, the land of coconuts and backwaters, waited, poised. It is the traditional gateway for the southwest monsoon's grand entry into the Indian mainland. The Western Ghats, a formidable wall of mountains, stood ready to greet the moisture-laden clouds. The air grew thick, humid, expectant. The sea changed its color from tranquil blue to a restless gray. Fishermen pulled their boats ashore, their eyes on the darkening horizon. They knew the signs, passed down through generations. The arrival was often dramatic, a spectacle of nature's power. Dark, pregnant clouds rolled in from the Arabian Sea like a conquering army. Thunder rumbled, a deep, guttural warning. Lightning split the sky, illuminating the swaying palm trees, the agitated waters. Then the heavens opened. Rain fell. Not gently this time, but in torrents, a relentless onslaught, drenching the land in minutes, washing away the summer's heat, the summer's dust. The transformation was immediate, miraculous. The parched earth turned a vibrant, impossible green. Rivers swelled, backwaters overflowed their banks. Waterfalls, dormant for months, sprang to life, cascading down the mountain slopes. The scent of wet earth mingled with the fragrance of blooming jasmine and frangipani. It was a sensory explosion, a celebration of renewal. The land sighed, contented, rejuvenated. Kerala dressed itself in 1,000 shades of green. Children danced in the first rains, their laughter echoing the joy of the land. Farmers prepared their fields, their hearts full of hope. The monsoon was not just rain here, it was a deity, a life-giver, revered, celebrated. Its arrival marked the beginning of a new cycle, of planting, of growth, of sustenance. Festivals were timed to its rhythm. Life itself was choreographed by its coming and going. Kerala, God's own country, was reborn under the monsoon's powerful life-affirming embrace. Section 5, the two arms of the Sky River, a nation embraced. Once it made landfall in Kerala and kissed the Andaman shores, the mighty monsoon did not march as one. It bifurcated, splitting into two great arms, two powerful currents of life-giving water flowing through the sky. One branch, the Arabian Sea branch, moved northwards along the western coast, climbing the slopes of the Western Ghats, bringing torrential rain to Mumbai, to Gujarat and further inland towards the heart of the country. The other branch, the Bay of Bengal branch, swept over the warm waters of the bay, gathering more moisture, more strength. It moved northwestwards, drenching Bangladesh, and then curving towards the Indo-Gangetic plains, bringing rain to Kolkata, to the vast agricultural lands of Uttar Pradesh and Bihar. Encountering the Himalayan barrier to the north, these two arms worked in concert, yet with their own distinct pace, their own regional character, embracing the subcontinent. The journey of these two branches was a slow, deliberate advance. Sometimes they surged forward with unexpected vigor. Sometimes they stalled, causing anxiety and fervent prayers. Their progress was tracked meticulously by meteorologists, by farmers, by every citizen, for on their timely arrival and their even distribution depended the fate of millions. The fate of the harvest, the availability of drinking water, the very rhythm of life. This was a celestial river flowing above. The land responded differently to each arm's touch, the rugged terrain of the west, the sprawling plains of the east. Each received the monsoon in its own way, creating diverse landscapes, diverse ecosystems. Yet the underlying story was the same, the story of thirst quenched, of life renewed. The two arms of the monsoon were like the nurturing embrace of a mother, reaching out to every corner of her child, ensuring no part was left untouched by its life-sustaining grace. A continent held its breath and then exhaled. Section 6. The parched fields drink deep, an agricultural symphony across the vast rural tapestry of India. The monsoon was the conductor of an agricultural symphony. The first rains softened the sun-baked earth, making it pliable, ready for the plough. Farmers who had waited with patient resignation sprang into action. The click of ploughshares, the songs of sowing, the hopeful murmurs of men and women rose from the fields, replacing the silence of the dry months. It was a ritual as old as time itself. Seedlings, carefully nurtured, were transplanted into the muddy fields. Paddy, millet, pulses, cotton, each crop had its own rhythm, its own dependence on the monsoon's bounty. The rains dictated the planting season. The growth, the eventual harvest. Too little rain meant drought, failed crops, despair. Too much rain meant floods, waterlogged fields, a different kind of ruin. The farmer walked a tightrope between hope and anxiety, his gaze constantly on the sky. The landscape transformed. From barren brown to a carpet of tender green, shoots emerged from the soil, reaching for the sky as if in gratitude. Rivers, which were mere trickles, swelled into life-giving arteries, channeling water to distant fields. Irrigation canals buzzed with activity. The entire rural economy pulsated with the monsoon's rhythm. It was more than just water. It was the lifeblood of agriculture, the foundation of food security for over 1 billion people. The monsoon was a shared experience, binding communities together. Villagers helped each other in planting, in tending the crops, shared anxieties, shared hopes. Festivals were celebrated to appease the rain gods, to offer thanks for their benevolence. These were not mere superstitions, but an expression of profound dependence, a deep understanding of nature's power. The parched fields drank deep, and in their satiation lay the promise of sustenance for an entire nation. Section 7 City veins swell, urban rhythms in the rain. The monsoon's arrival in the cities was a different kind of drama, a complex interplay of relief and chaos. The concrete jungles, steaming under the summer sun, sighed with the first cool showers. Dust-laden streets were washed clean. Trees, often choked with pollution, took on a brighter green. The air, thick with grime, felt fresher, more breathable for a moment. The relentless pace of urban life seemed to pause, to acknowledge nature's grand entrance, but the relief was often short-lived as the rains intensified. The city's infrastructure groaned under the strain. Streets turned into rivers, drains overflowed, traffic snarled, grinding to a halt. Commuters waded through knee-deep water, their daily routines disrupted. The city's veins, its roads and railway lines, swelled and sometimes broke, exposing the vulnerabilities of rapid, often unplanned urbanization. Yet there was a strange beauty in this watery chaos. Life adapted. Street vendors sold roasted corn and hot chai, perfect companions for the rainy weather. Children found joy in splashing through puddles. Umbrellas blossomed, a vibrant moving canopy of colors. The sound of rain drumming on corrugated roofs and window panes became the city's background score. There was a certain resilience, a spirit of jugaad, ingenious improvisation, that helped people navigate the challenges. The city, despite its struggles, found a new rhythm. The monsoon in the city was a great leveler. Rich and poor alike were affected by its moods. It reminded the urban populace of their connection to nature, a connection often forgotten. Amidst the steel and glass, it replenished lakes and reservoirs, the city's lifeline for drinking water, ensuring survival through the drier months ahead. Despite the disruptions, the monsoon was a necessary guest, a vital cleanser, a reminder that even concrete kingdoms bowed to the power of the elements. Section 8. The gentle retreat, earth's sigh of satiation, after months of dramatic presence, of life-giving downpours and occasional fury. The monsoon began its slow retreat. This was not an abrupt departure, but a gentle fading, a gradual withdrawal, starting from the northwestern plains of Rajasthan. Around September, the skies began to clear. The intensity of the rain lessened. The days grew sunnier, but the air retained a pleasant coolness, a lingering freshness left behind by the departed rains. The land, once parched and then saturated, now held a quiet contentment. Rivers flowed with a steady, measured pace, no longer raging torrents, but serene waterways, reflecting the clear blue skies. The fields, laden with ripening crops, stood as a testament to the monsoon's generosity. The greens were deeper now, more mature. The earth exhaled a sigh of satiation, of fulfillment. The landscape was painted in hues of gold and mellow green, ready for the harvest. The air carried a different scent, not of petrichor, but of damp earth drying, of ripening grain, of blooming autumn flowers. The oppressive humidity of the peak monsoon gave way to a crispness, especially in the mornings and evenings. This was the season of festivals, of harvest celebrations, of gratitude for the bounty received. The rhythm of life shifted once more, from the intense activity of the rainy season to the joyful anticipation of reaping the rewards. The retreating monsoon left behind a legacy of replenished water bodies, of fertile lands, of a renewed ecosystem. It was a period of calm after the storm, a time for nature to consolidate its gains before the onset of winter, and then the long, dry summer. The cycle would continue, but for now. There was peace, a sense of completion. The great rain had done its work. Its gentle departure was as significant as its dramatic arrival, leaving the land nourished and waiting. Section 9 echoes in the soul, a monsoon's enduring spirit. The Indian monsoon is more than just a weather pattern. It is a profound cultural and spiritual phenomenon, deeply woven into the subcontinent's soul. For millennia, it has shaped art, music, literature, and philosophy. Its rhythms are echoed in classical ragas, composed to welcome the rains. Its imagery fills poetry and ancient scriptures, describing its power, its beauty, its life-giving essence. It is a muse, an inspiration, a divine force. It represents the eternal cycle of destruction and creation, of waiting and fulfillment. The parched land symbolizes austerity, penance. The arrival of rain signifies grace, rebirth, abundance. This cyclical narrative is central to Indian thought. The monsoon teaches patience, resilience, and the interconnectedness of all life. It reminds humanity of its dependence on nature, of the delicate balance that sustains existence. These are lessons carried in the wind and in the water. The monsoon's influence extends to rituals and traditions. Prayers are offered for its timely arrival. Festivals celebrate its bounty. Folk tales and legends are replete with stories of rain gods and goddesses, of heroes who brought water to a thirsty land. These are not mere stories. They are expressions of a deep reverence, a living tradition that acknowledges the sacredness of nature. The monsoon is a shared heritage, uniting diverse cultures across the vast expanse of India, even as the clouds recede and the land basks in post-monsoon sunshine. The spirit of the rains lingers in the full rivers, in the green fields, in the hearts of the people. It is a memory and a promise, a reminder of the earth's capacity for renewal. The monsoon is a story written across the sky and etched into the land, a story of a billion lives intertwined with the fate of the clouds, a timeless rhythm that continues to define the very essence of India.